Okay, we've got a thriller of an episode on the way today. I'm Andrew, and I'm not just a man looking in the mirror because I've got two Rev Almanac teammates here with me. They're bad, they're dangerous, they're Amanda and Heather, and we are here to heal the world with this very special episode. Heather's already cringing at all the Michael Jackson titles I've just dropped in that little open right there. This is going to be more chaotic than normal, ladies. We're gonna have a crazy one. Are you ready for this one?
I can't even tell which ones you're doing are song titles because I don't think I know Michael Jackson's song titles. I was like, why is he talking like this?
I'm just really pleased neither of us are called Diana.
So yes,
that's true.
All right, well, we're here for a very special reason. The Michael Jackson biopic has released by this point in time. By the time this is released, Amanda will have seen the movie too. We cannot wait to hear what she thinks of it very, very soon. Let's start. We're eventually going to get to the real meat of this, which is we're going to be drafting worst music biopics by various categories. So that should be a lot of fun, a little different than anyone else is doing out there. But let's start with Michael Jackson and this whole movie that's dominating social media right now for good and for bad. First and foremost, Amanda, what is your relationship to Michael Jackson, the artist, the person, if you have one at all?
I don't really have one. I think I own his greatest hits album. I think my mom does. So I definitely heard it in my life. I would say my only connection is I grew up in the time of the Wii, and there's a Wii game that's like Just Dance, but it's only Michael Jackson songs. It's called Michael Jackson: The Experience. Very important part of my young adulthood, I'd say. I can do a lot of Michael Jackson dances, but that's it. I don't care about him or his music very much.
So what is it that's got you compelled to go see the movie tomorrow?
I'm being dragged by both a coworker and Nina. And I would have taken my mom. Unfortunately, she is busy. But it's like every woman in my life is like, how we have to go see Michael. When are we seeing Michael? And so it's like, okay. So we're going to see Michael tomorrow.
Okay. I cannot wait for you to report back to us. I think I've already seen projections. Heather, you keep track of this more than I do, but I think it's on pace for like $220 million opening weekend globally.
Oh my God, that much. I'd read 150, but maybe I was seeing domestic. I don't know. Although it's going to be massive internationally as well.
Oh, huge. Yeah. So, I mean, this is not going to be a movie that's going to struggle financially. There's already reports that they were thinking of making a sequel or maybe breaking this up into two parts. I think that from a financial standpoint, they're probably going to make more of this if it does well. Heather, what's your relationship towards Michael Jackson, the artist, the person, the everything?
Well, as a child of the 80s, obviously he was kind of everywhere. I kind of tried to ignore the music so much. It wasn't really my thing until a friend of mine in high school, or was she a friend? I don't even know if she was a friend. Somebody whose house I went to. And she was like this massive Michael Jackson fan. Like her whole room was covered in Michael Jackson stuff. And I was like, okay. Mine was covered in Christian Slater, as we all know. Hers was covered in Michael Jackson. And that was all she listened to, I think. And Bad was like all over the place. I don't even remember when these things came out. And then there was the whole thing about Macaulay Culkin being in the video for something. And that was a whole thing because, of course, with the Home Alone or whatever, I don't know. He was just like permanently, it's just a big thing, of course, like late 80s, 90s and everything. And then things started coming out a bit more. And then that's, I think, up until a certain point, I don't know, maybe as a kid you kind of ignore these kind of things, but like up to a certain point, I think it was just, he's maybe a little bit weird. Like he lives with his chimpanzee, Bubbles, and various pets. And, it was a bit weird maybe, but hey, child fame, that's what it can do to a guy. And sure, he's, getting plastic surgery, but fine. But didn't seem very kind of controversial. And then things started to come out. And that's kind of like, I would say like mid 90s is really when it started going off in two different directions. With the controversies, which of course are not covered at all in the new film which is of course very sanitized. Yeah, it's not never. I mean, some of the songs are just like great, like classics, um, but it's not something I've ever bought, owned, or anything. There is a Michael Jackson shrine in Munich, I should say, where I live, outside quite a posh hotel. I have seen it. I've never really paid much attention to it. I'm aware it's there. I get told about it when there's tourists here, and they go, "Oh, I've been to the Michael Jackson shrine." I'm like, okay, fine. It seems to be in all the guidebooks, weirdly enough. Then there was the whole thing in Berlin, also in Germany, like with him holding his baby over the balcony, which was a whole big scandal as well. And yeah, I mean, he's got a lot. I also remember when he died, I was on a flight to London, and I landed. It was an evening flight, I think, and I landed, and my dad met me at the airport, and he said, "Oh, Michael Jackson's died," and I went, "Okay, right." Yeah, so I remember where I was. It was one of I think it's that does say a lot. I think if it's one of those celebrity deaths where you remember exactly where you were when you heard it. So similar to like Princess Diana, Kurt Cobain, River Phoenix. These are kind of the ones I remember.
I'm not saying you remember.
Thank you. Yes, I was alive at the time, okay? But I don't remember where I was. Probably asleep somewhere in my cot. Please. Rude. Rude.
I didn't. I was wondering like where you two kind of sat in the pocket of Michael, because I remember one of the first cassette tapes I ever got was Thriller when I was young. That and Queen's Greatest Hits, and so it's very
classics.
It's like I feel like everyone had those on cassette in the late '80s, early '90s. It's very ironic that this movie is drawing a lot of parallels already to Bohemian Rhapsody. Freddie Mercury and Queen is one of my all-time favorite bands. Michael Jackson was like really big for me when I was probably, I think I'm Macaulay. What's funny is I think I'm Macaulay Culkin's age. I think he and I are both like right around 40. And so he might be a touch older than me. But like I remember being young enough to find Michael Jackson really like interesting. And like he was this, it's hard to explain to people now how big he was.
It's so funny when people say, "Oh, Taylor Swift and Beyonce," and it's like, no, you don't understand.
Yes,
like
there's levels to it.
Yeah, it's insane, like how famous he was, and still, of course, is, of course, more infamous. But yeah, it's just like the kids nowadays. I just can't.
And even like. I mean, I can't even process Beatlemania, as crazy as that probably was.
That too.
And but like Michael was like one of the few larger than life people on Earth, maybe the most well-known person on Earth at the time.
Probably.
So yeah, I have always found Michael Jackson really interesting as an artist. Obviously, as I got older into my teens and 20s, started like discovering more of like all the darkness there. There's a really great Michael Jackson story to be told. But anyone who came into this movie anticipating that with the estate behind it was actually going to like delve into any of the dark matter was just like, I don't know what they were thinking or expecting. But I mean, I knew this was going to be very sanitized from the beginning, which is why I am not seeing this movie at the theater. I will be very clear with people on that.
I'm not going to see it. Yeah, I'm not. No, I'm not going to see it unless it gets nominations for Oscars along the road. And even then I will decide, because depending on what they are, if it's, I don't know, hair and makeup, whatever. Yeah, I might just say, you know what, I'm good. But yeah, if it gets an acting performance or, God forbid, Best Picture, I mean, will we laugh? But please.
It could happen. It could happen.
Look at Bohemian Rhapsody. It got in everywhere. And I know, Amanda, is this the season you're currently doing, like with Oscar upsets right now? Like it was, or you've just done?
I just did it.
Done it. Yeah. It was so, I think I think we're kind of forgetting how close it probably was to winning on the preferential.
It was very funny looking at like just old news articles, and it was like, how are Green Book and Bohemian Rhapsody our front runners? And those were just
How did we
insane to
get
read.
here? Yeah, I mean, I went to see Bohemian Rhapsody in the cinema, but that was certainly a case of. I remember just the whole marketing around it and the first images when they released of Rami Malek as Freddie, and it was kind of incredible because
Mhm.
he like had nailed the pose and the way they kind of taken the picture and the angles. It could almost have been him. Obviously, when we saw the movie, we were like, "Oh no, he looks nothing like him." But the way they did it, it did look. And I was like, I went into it with an open mind, but yeah, I think, and I was reading a lot of stuff about this. Bohemian Rhapsody is kind of it's done a lot of damage to music biopics, which was never a great genre, but I think Bohemian Rhapsody is certainly, yeah, it's creating a monster.
I am nervous that this movie's financial success will lead to an increased boom in this subgenre, which is already just like oversaturated to begin with. Here's a question for the both of you, just kind of off the cuff. Who's the one artist or musician you just like hope and pray we never get a music biopic from? Maybe it's like if they're like near and dear to you, or you're just like, is there anyone that comes to mind that hasn't already had a music biopic where you're just like, I hope they don't go anywhere near that? Or is anyone?
Well, I mean, one of my favorite artists got the treatment last year. Oh, I did not see it. Sorry. Gonna have to hold up my cup and people and think it's Bruce Springsteen, one of my absolute favorites. I did not see that film. I remember at the time thinking, why do we need this? What are we doing? Just because I just don't really like the genre very much. And I didn't see the need for like what sorry, but I mean Bruce Springsteen, yes, he was like, went through a phase of depression, etc., etc. And it's just I do prefer it when they do a small part of somebody's life, like the Dylan one, but I don't know. I think it's just because it's so tainted as well, this genre, that I'm like, no, leave Bruce Springsteen alone. Like, don't assume. And he was so supportive. I'm like, no, Bruce, stop it. As I say, I didn't see it. And I actually heard it wasn't even that bad, just a bit dull.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was very normal.
Yeah. But the thing is, and this is like sort of as part of my sort of mini research for this, I've been finding that a lot of the times they've been even in the past, we say this about, oh God, why are we getting a biopic for this person? What have they done? What's the point? Where's the story? In the past, there's been a few cases of that as well. Like, well, there's not really that much to tell, so we're going to make it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more controversial, a little bit more, I don't know, rock and roll than actually this person was. I think a lot of my favorites are kind of like probably nowhere near going to be getting, like, so I'm sort of more in the sort of the indie rock sort of side. Like, they're not going to get biopics, and why would they? But I say this now, I'm just like, oh God, they'll find something to do.
You
No,
never
they
know.
won't. No, I think I'm fine. I think the only one potentially that for God knows why they would do it, of the bands that I've seen the most or been the most called is possibly the Killers, but I don't even know what they would do there.
Yeah.
Like, yay, well done. They wrote Mr. Brightside, which became like one of the most famous songs and most like, disco anthems of like modern day music. I mean, like, wow, well done. I mean, there's not really much to say about them. Like, it's really a bit dull, I think. But no scandals, so yeah.
Is there anyone that comes to your mind as like a near and dear musician to your heart?
John Williams.
Yeah, I was gonna say we did joke about John Williams earlier, and God, that would be devastating. And we were joking that he would like posthumously win all the Oscars for it. Unfortunately, I think the only artist that I listen to heavily is getting one, and that is Paul McCartney.
Oh yes.
And there is one Beatles adjacent biopic that I do enjoy. But yeah, I'm very nervous that these four are gonna completely destroy everything.
Yeah. I knew the Beatles it was inevitable. They were too big not to profit off of, which is why I'm also surprised. I honestly, I don't really have any protection over any artist where I'm like, oh, I hope they don't do a biopic, whatever. I probably won't enjoy it, but I'm a little surprised they haven't invested in like a Led Zeppelin biopic, just considering the size of that band and some of the larger than life stories that have existed around that band, and the groupies and the mystical element. Like they were a very larger than life. apparently the categories with me.
Loud cat. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a little surprised Zeppelin hasn't gotten one, but now I'm, I guess, putting it out in the ether. But Almost Famous almost kind of like plays with the idea of Led Zeppelin as a band. Like the fictitious band in Almost Famous is kind of Zeppelin adjacent, so they do kind of do that.
Yeah, I think, as I said, my research has not really been that deep, but my surface level research for this has, first of all, thrown a lot of things at me that I never knew existed, and secondly, I've been noticing kind of like a theme is like the ones where, that obviously the ones that kind of get approved by the estate, whatever we want to call it, the estate, family, whatever the term is, those are the ones that are like obviously kind of mainly, like there's exceptions, of course, because I understand like Rocket Man does go into quite dark places of Elton's life, and he was supportive of this film. Those ones kind of like sanitize it, so maybe that's not so interesting. And then the ones that kind of sensationalize and want to go there, though, they're the ones that, obviously don't get approved by the estate. So therefore they can't use the music. So there's that kind of like cheapy aspect, like you're doing this, but you haven't got their music. This clearly wasn't approved. So there's that skepticism as well. So yeah, I mean, you're saying Led Zeppelin, I mean, maybe it was approached at some point, but they said, well, if we can't get agreement to actually tell the story we want to tell, we'd rather not, because then it'll turn into something kind of like cheap, not real film because we haven't got the music, for example. I don't know.
Well, let's get on to the really bad music biopics out there, which there are plenty of them. So we are going to be doing a little drafting here in a moment. Now, this is specifically worst music biopics that we're talking about. So you can probably get out of your mind some of the better ones out there, and we might quibble during this drafting of, what defines good or bad, but we'll get to that here in a minute. So let me walk everyone kind of through what the plan is for this draft. So what we've done is we've come up with 5 different categories: worst performance, male or female; most overrated; worst script; worst hair and makeup; worst singing performance. That can be either lip synced or actual singing. So we got 5 categories, the 3 of us. There's going to be no overlap. So once a movie is taken, it's off the board for the rest of us, which is going to get complicated. We'll do this snake draft style. So whoever picks third in the first round will pick first in the second round, as everyone's pretty familiar with. Now, I was hoping to have my boys here and do a little live drafting. They have spent a couple of days not with us here at the house, and so they're a little crabby. But I was able to get them to pick names out of a hat, which I haven't looked at. Neither of the 3 of us have not looked at this draft order yet. So I've got right here in my hand pick number 1, which will, thank goodness, be me. I am so glad I'm
but you're relieved. So Amanda said she didn't want to go first. That's the thing.
I did not want to go first.
Right.
Okay. I'm glad I'm first. So, okay.
Yeah, I'm in the middle. I don't. I'm literally in the middle.
This is number 2. And it does appear to be Heather going number 2, which means number 3 is Amanda. So Amanda will have that ability at number 3 to draft first in the second round. Okay, so there we are.
The main challenge is the fact that there are some obvious films that fit into every category, but they get taken off the board immediately, no matter if they get drafted. This is my major challenge, and I think I had like this realization earlier today when I messaged you like 2 hours ago, like, oh my God, what have I done? Because I think this whole mess was my idea, which is...
You did this.
This is my fault, right?
Yeah. I've been prepping for 15 films this whole time, and then 2 hours ago, you're like, we have to do 15? I was like, hold on, I've been prepping for months. And I'll probably still do it.
Yeah, you've actually rewatched or watched and rewatched stuff. I have not. So I am pure vibes and powered by Google. So
as it should be.
As it should be.
All right.
Look. I life is too short to watch crap.
That is definitely true.
Thank
We'll
goodness
get to the crap.
I've seen most of these before, so I feel pretty confident I have some memory of them.
No, I'm too busy doing Ridley Scott and Tony Scott stuff. That's more fun. Yeah.
All right. Well, I have the first pick. Thank goodness, because as I told the two of them beforehand, there are two categories I wanted to try to jump to right away. So this was not a black or white decision for me. It was a,
oh no, here we go.
There's another one for you if you're keeping track. All right.
Everybody, please, listeners and viewers, every time Andrew says the Michael Jackson
in unison
thing, yes, but also take a drink.
We'll
have our viewers and listeners drunk in the first 5 minutes. I'm drinking water, so I'm good.
Okay, I'm going to start with, for me, which is actually the hardest category. I'm a little surprised that I was struggling to find it. I'm going to start in worst singing performance. And I tried to stick to real people attempting to sing for real that didn't pull it off, as opposed to lip syncing. So I am going to go with Marissa Abella, who does the voice for Amy Winehouse in the film Back to Black.
Yes, of course.
She A for effort. She tried. Amy Winehouse has one of those all-time great voices that's hard to replicate, and poor Marissa Abella did not do a very good job of replicating Amy Winehouse in that movie. That might have been one of those situations where lip syncing might have been beneficial to the film. So I'm going to go Back to Black, first pick. Not a movie I love. I do like Amy Winehouse as a performer. That movie was not great, but that's going to be my worst singing performance.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether she'd lip synced or did it live, and then I saw the trailer or some clips, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see. The problem with Amy Winehouse is that, yeah, she really has such a distinctive voice, and if you're not nailing that, it's so obvious, or it sounds like a really bad caricature or impression. So yeah, it's sad because I like Marissa. I mean, I liked her but this really kind of almost put her into acting jail for me for a while. I was like, oh my God. But then I watched Black Bag and she, pulled all out again. I was like, oh yes, you're back. It's fine. It's just a shame that she's going to be associated with that, I think.
Yes, I agree. All right. Well, Heather, you're up next with pick number 2. See where you go with this one.
Right. Well, I'm also very keen to get this one. And I'm not... We're leaving a lot of things here for Amanda, but no, I need to take this one just because this was my hardest category, I have to say, because it's not something that's so easy to judge when you're just watching clips. I have to and I'm going with hair and makeup, and I'm going with Nina. Sorry, not your Nina, Amanda, but Nina, because
great pick.
What are we doing with blackface in this century? What are we doing? I was so shocked. Blackface, over the top prosthetics to mimic the Nina Simone. What are we doing? Zoe Saldana, I love you. You are so talented, but what are you doing? This is such a bad choice. Yeah, I mean, I think Nina is generally something that you can draft in multiple categories, but because of the whole blackface of it all, and like a recent example, and that we've got it. And because I was struggling with that category in general, I have to take that one. I'm so happy.
That was my number one for that category, but I was like, I think I could have enough that we can get past it if we need to, but it's just so unfortunate for having someone in my life named Nina and being like, there's a movie named Nina, and I watched it and I was like, the minute she came on screen, I was like, oh, okay, so we're doing blackface. This is great. And it's just, it's
I win with the films named after me. I win. I have cooler films named after me. Yeah.
Did Nina watch Nina with you?
She did not. I told her about it, and she had that like cringed look on her face the whole time. I don't think I could get her to sit down and watch it.
All right. Well, Amanda, you've got 2 picks now, so you got a lot of choices here.
I'm so excited. This leaves me the 2 that I wanted to get out of the way like first. So this is great. Well, besides Nina, but that was later. Okay, so I'm going to start with overrated, because in my mind, this was the most difficult category because I don't think any of these are rated very highly anyway. So like, I only had like 3 to choose from. And so I am picking the best of them all that could be taken in any category, and that is Bohemian Rhapsody.
Of course. Yes. Overrated. It's the classic overrated one.
It could go in any category, but also, the amount of times a day, especially right now with Michael coming out, that I have to hear about this movie. I'm tired of hearing about it.
5 Oscar nominations, 4 wins, and a Best Picture nomination in there. Crazy.
Obvious
and what could be
choice
considered
in that category.
a close Best Picture race, I guess. I wasn't watching at the time, but
with 85% Rotten Tomato audience score, so overrated is very deserving there.
Yeah, that movie is terrible. I was talking to someone, and it was about like the oh, you're gay, you'd probably really love Bohemian Rhapsody. Like, this wasn't towards me, but this was like I don't even know who I was having this conversation with, but I was like, oh, no. I think it's the opposite, actually. I think this made me hate it more. But, yeah, in the worst way.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Great pick.
This leaves me so excited for this next one. So
I'm worried you're going to steal what I want next, so we'll see.
Maybe.
Cat sabotage.
Don't look at my cat's like whole butt. Sorry. Okay. So this next one is one that I borrowed from the library. I did not watch it when it came out. It's more recent. I borrowed it. I got about 45 minutes into it. I got exhausted watching it because the editing is so bad. And the movie itself was fine as it was going on. But there's one thing in particular that I could not stand about this movie, and I'm going to worst performance. And I'm taking Elvis.
No!
Tom Hanks.
No!
I only got maybe a third of the way in the movie, because this movie is one you have to focus on so hard because it's edited like it's for someone with no attention span. It's exhausting. Mm-hmm. And what is Tom Hanks doing in this movie? Is it he's doing some sort of strange, like, is it like a weird Eastern European accent? There's something that
Dutch.
he's doing.
Supposed to be Dutch.
Okay, it's not coming across as anything.
Yeah, this was such
drove
a
me
good
insane.
Pick. Oh my goodness!
It's like, I have to get this, and we have to make sure we know this is not for Austin Butler because he's doing just fine.
Yes.
Specifically for Parker.
I had this in multiple categories for Tom Hanks of it all. Yes.
Yeah. I had it hair and makeup. I had it performance for Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even care what I take for the rest of this draft, as long as I got those.
Yes, those are great. Great.
Oof.
Yeah,
Elvis and Bohemian, yeah. Because Elvis got 8 Oscar nominations and a Best Picture nomination, so it was in my overrated field too. Yeah. Damn. Okay, that's a good one. Oh. You've set the table well, Amanda.
Yeah. That snake. Then I can't even find my limit. Oh no, it's me next. Oh my god. Right. Okay.
You're gonna do great.
Thank you. Cheerleader. Wait. Right. Okay. What am I going to do? I think I don't know. I'm not struggling so much on the script and story and stuff because I've interpreted it also as creative license. I think I'm going to leave that one because I think that's fine. That's my longest. That's my longest one. I think overrated now that Bohemian Rhapsody is gone is I'm just going to leave that one too. What does that leave me? That leaves me performance and singing. Okay, right. Let me think. I've got Tom Hanks is gone. Thank you. I think I am going to go with the either performance or lip syncing. Which one? It's going to be the same person. I'm just trying to decide which category. Okay, I'm going to go with. I think performance I can probably also right. I'm going with lip syncing because again I find that this one was also I struggled with a little bit, and I'm going to do the film that I do actually remember watching. I think at the time because I'm old. And this was Dennis Quaid's performance, but not his performance, his lip syncing. His performance is also terrible, but we're going to take him for lip syncing. In Great Balls of Fire. What a horrible film. You know, maybe this is what set off my hatred of this kind of genre.
Started early.
Because I think it's like late 80s, and probably one of these films that we thought would be quite fun to, because what was that Inner Space with Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan and Martin Short. And I remember that was a film that we really rented like quite a lot from Blockbuster Video. Kids, look it up. Big from Blockbuster Video. And Dennis Quaid was in that. And we're like, oh, Dennis Quaid. And Meg Ryan, Top Gun. And great. And then, so we watched this Inner Space. And I'm sure that was probably around the same time that we also decided we were going to watch this other Dennis Quaid film. And it was not good. And he is so over the top. And on paper, it actually could really kind of work because he's a bit over the top. He did like a few scandals, escapades, but it was just horrible. And the lip syncing is, I don't even know if he was, I don't think he was listening to the same song half the time. So I shall go with Dennis Quaid.
I don't think I've seen that movie in, 25-ish years. And all I remember is him so overacting.
And so sweaty.
Yeah. And I can't remember if the movie really delves into the whole situation with the cousin relationship or whatever.
Oh, God.
Just I can't
remember.
What a messy figure to like.
As I say, but on paper, it could have potentially worked. I understand the casting.
Okay, right. Well, yeah, he was in my worst singing list too. That was a good choice. Okay, so I got a couple of picks now. I'm so happy that I can get exactly what I want in these two categories. Exactly what I wanted. I'm going to start with worst performance, male or female. I was worried Amanda was maybe going to try to steal this from me because I feel like you'd mentioned this movie, this name. Okay. For a lot of biopics, I feel like they at least get someone who's maybe close to capturing a little bit of the essence of said person. To make a biopic about someone as enigmatic and special as David Bowie and cast Johnny Flynn in the film Stardust, what in the hell is that casting choice? He doesn't look anything like Bowie. There's nothing about Johnny Flynn in that movie that does anything to capture David Bowie, even the smallest little fraction. So, yeah. Amanda, you recently watched that movie, didn't you?
I did. This was one of them. I don't think this is the one that I texted and said, like, I can't believe I'm watching full movies, but it was around that time. But what a bad movie overall. The whole thing is weird. And obviously it's because they don't have any of the rights. And so, like, you're like, oh, he's like weirdly singing a cover in a vacuum cleaner fair or whatever. But yeah, terrible.
But it is possible to do that better. These kind of things. If you look at Priscilla, they also did not have the rights to Elvis movie, but because they weren't focusing on Elvis, hence my question, by the way, the other week, of course, the other day, I didn't ever think about drafting Priscilla because I think it's fabulous. But my question was, well, what happens if the musician is actually adjacent to the whole thing? But they had a similar thing, but there's so many of them. And that's, yeah,
this was in my hair and makeup category too because of the wig. That's just a dreadful.
I had it in my very long script.
Yes.
Screenplay category.
I think I had it everywhere.
Yeah.
This would be a great one if I just need to throw one in. It's perfect.
It is so bad that like nobody talks about it. It has been buried, rightfully so. Like David Bowie deserves so much better than that. I feel like a smooth criminal having just stolen that one.
No. Everybody, cheers.
All right. I'm going to move over to most overrated now. My top two picks have already been taken, Bohemian Rhapsody and Elvis, I was going to go in most overrated. I only had one other option, so I'm so glad I'm going to grab it. I covered it last year on the show. We're going all the way back to the year 1976. This is a movie that was a Best Picture nominee in 1976. Bound for Glory, about the musician Woody Guthrie. 1976 is like one of the all-time great Best Picture lineups, except for the fact that this movie exists in that sphere. It got 6 Oscar nominations. It won in cinematography. It's got David Carradine playing Woody Guthrie. It's a perfectly fine movie, but why I would consider it overrated is because it's a Best Picture nominee in one of the all-time great lineups in history. It won an Oscar. It's got a really high critic and audience Rotten Tomato score. So I'm going to put Bound for Glory as my most overrated, just because I watched it and it was kind of a nothing movie that the world has forgotten about. So there you go. I had a feeling I was going to grab that one without too much trouble.
Yeah,
no knowledge of
no,
that.
I clear what that is.
Good.
Well.
Okay. All right. So now it's back to Heather with
I was going to say, how overrated can it be when we haven't seen anything? But on the other hand, it is Oscar nominated, so we'll give you that. And that's probably us problem. Okay. Right. What should I do next? You know what? I just want to, because I want to bring up this film. So I'm going to because you told me it was allowed. So I'm going to go to TV movies. And I am taking in script and creative license, the very adjacent to the film out this week. I am taking the much heralded TV movie Man in the Mirror from God knows when. Sometime.
I have seen it. I remember seeing it.
Good for you. I have not seen it, but I'm still drafting it because it was completely approved by the similar to this, by the Jackson clan, and it just looks horrible. It just looks horrible. It takes creative license. I've read about it. Nothing is covered. Nothing of any interest, as expected. And I just think I want to have this in my draft somewhere, so I'm going to put it here because it just looks horrific.
Its IMDb score is 3.2.
There we go.
Yeah, I feel like it was on VH1 or MTV or one of those music channels. And I remember watching it and having a really disappointing time with it. Yeah, good pick. Good pick.
The only thing is, though, with the Michael Jackson approved ones, is that, sorry, not Michael Jackson approved, Michael Jackson estate approved, is at least they get the music, I suppose. And as we've seen the crowds at Michael, really getting up and dancing. I mean, obviously me not liking people having fun in films, as we know, but I am staying home this time. I'm not going to go to the cinema to experience these people dancing and having fun. This was a TV movie. Who knows if it had come out in cinemas? You probably have had people going and having a concert experience, quite frankly. So, good for them. Anyway, I just want to get that on my board.
There was a pocket of time, like right in the 2000s, early 2000s, where there were a whole bunch of TV movies about musicians, some of which I have scattered throughout my notes here.
I may have another one coming up.
Okay. I might too, so I'm not going to reveal anything.
Oh.
Okay, so Amanda, you now have 2 picks, and you've got script, hair and makeup, singing performance, all as options.
Yep. I'm going to save script for last, I think, because I really don't care what I take for that. It could be anything. So I'm going to go over...
They're all awful.
They're all awful. Yeah, you could just pick one and say, oh, it's terrible, because that's every single one.
That's what I'm doing with overrated.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to go to singing performance, mostly because every single other top one in this category has already been taken. So I'm just going to take a film that I watched in its entirety, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it was because of the cast. And the singing performance can be shared amongst a variety of people because this movie makes no sense, and that is CBGB.
Oh, I heard about this one.
So it's like everyone is singing. They're like, it's just a concert of all these people's big songs, I guess. It's a lot of bands that I've never heard of because this is not my type of or era of music. And at one point, like, Rupert Grint shows up in like a weird hairdo, and everybody's lip syncing just really bad and obscure. It's a terrible movie. No need to watch it. But
yeah, it's such a bad movie about such an interesting pocket of music for people who are into that kind of stuff. But the casting is terrible for, like, there's a person who looks nothing like Debbie Harry playing Debbie Harry, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, it's a rough movie.
The whole thing, if I would have gotten like performance way down, I would have taken for Alan Rickman, because he's just playing himself in a wig. Or like he's just doing his own accent in a wig. He's not doing anything. So, but Singing
Alan
performance, I
Rickman
think,
is
is a good one.
incapable of doing a bad performance. What are you doing?
Yeah, and somehow
Somehow he manages it.
he manages. Maybe it's just the accent. I think that the
That
performance
shows
is
his
probably fine,
greatness. That
but
such a great actor can still do such a bad performance. You mean he's like a good actor playing a bad? No, okay, never mind.
he's got
This
range.
is like me
He does
trying
it
to
bad.
explain the sound antenna a while. Like, no,
No, actually, it's just bad. Yeah, that was bizarre.
no, actually, it's just bad. Okay.
Yeah, and next I'm gonna go to hair and makeup. Obviously, this one was difficult for me mostly because I just kept nitpicking like little things. If one of these movies doesn't get drafted, I want to return for one thing in one movie that I would take in this category, but it was a good movie, so I don't want to take it. And I'm gonna take one for the love of my life, Kyle MacLachlan, and I'm gonna pick his wig in The Doors.
Whew. There's a lot of bad wigs in The Doors.
Yeah, that one
I
in
do
particular,
have The Doors in the category. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't even finish this movie. I got about a half hour into it and realized I actually had no idea what was going on. But I was also just really focused on the wigs.
Yeah, Meg Ryan's got a really bad one that I remember.
Wouldn't even know.
Yeah, The Doors.
Oh yeah, Meg Ryan was in it.
What a weird.
It's fitting for a movie about such a psychedelic band that the movie's really out there, but it's an out there movie for sure. Okay.
I remember when that. Of course, I remember when it came out because old, but I remember when it came out, and I was pretty so similar to what I was saying about like Bohemian Rhapsody with the first images that they were showing of Rami Malek. I remember I think it was the poster for The Doors, and I was like, bloody hell, like he looked so identical to me. I mean, this is not knowing The Doors or Jim Morrison like particularly well. I just remember that poster and being like blown away with the similarity of Val Kilmer. Now, watching the film, and you do realize it's not actually, like perfect, but I don't think he's necessarily the problem with that film.
He seemed very fine.
He was very committed.
Aggressively fine.
Yes.
Yeah, it was an aggressively fine 30 minutes that I watched. I just couldn't stop staring at Kyle MacLachlan and his wig.
On the beach. I remember there's that scene when they meet up on the beach. Yeah. All right. So Heather is back up with performance and overrated as options.
Yeah. So I think I'm just going to go with a sort of a populist thing because it's never a bad idea to have this person, I think, on a draft when we're talking negative. So I am going to take the pure vanity project of Kevin Spacey drafting himself as Bobby Darin when he looks nothing like him, is about twice the age that he was, sounds nothing like him. What are we doing? Oh, it's kind of like his film. Oh, oops, he happened to draft himself in this. Yes. So I'm sure there are much worse performances. But just for the pure vanity of it all, miscasting of it all, no matter how good he is. And also, as I said, Kevin Spacey in a worst draft, this could be good. So I'm just going to draft Kevin Spacey in whatever even is the film called, Beyond the Sea or something
Beyond the
like
Sea,
that.
yes.
Beyond the Sea. There we go.
Oh yes. It snuck in late for me as I might take this one for the strategery that you had.
Exactly. I don't even think he's that bad. I watched like snippets of it and I'm like, he's not that bad. But for the whole miscasting of it all, and as I said, it's kind of his film and his choice to obviously, very Clint Eastwood of him, drafting himself as the protagonist. So.
Well, to quote Michael Jackson, you are not alone on that one. I agree with you there.
Cheers.
Okay. I get to finish off my board with script and hair and makeup. I'm so excited. I've got my number one hair and makeup still. Whew. And
really?
Yeah, I do. And I've got some options in script. So I'll go hair and makeup first. Al Pacino. And the wig he's wearing in Phil Spector, which is a TV movie. That wig is insane. All you need to do is look at some still images of Al Pacino as Phil Spector, and you will see one of the most diabolical wigs out there.
Oh wow! How did I miss this?
Looking in real time.
Enjoy.
Wow. Oh man. You sent that list, and there were some I had never heard of, and I said, I don't need to look these up, and I was wrong. Wow.
Yeah.
I'd read about it, so it was just one I should have maybe looked up.
When they put them side by side, it's probably not even a badly done wig, but it's just a horrible hairstyle.
It looks so bad.
Maybe he just literally looked like this.
Yeah. Pacino just looks ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an intense hair.
I mean, Helen
he has
Mirren
a couple of
great.
them. It looks like
Helen Mirren's got the great eyeshadow going on here.
He's got a smooth one too.
Yeah, it just always cracks me up that Pacino took that role at that point.
I'm loving the blonde bits as well.
Yeah, this is hilarious. Thank you for this.
Fabulous.
You're welcome. It's not quite as good as the Pacino video that's been making the rounds lately of him doing the Cockney accent, which is just
my God, I saw this.
One of the great clips of all time.
Oh no, this is so bad. And I'm watching, I'm like, wait, hang on. Is he doing a bit? Or is he like supposed to be somebody trying to do a Cockney accent? And clearly, yes, it's Al Pacino trying to do a Cockney accent, but apparently that's what he was. It's terrible. Terrible.
Yeah. Amanda, bookmark that for afterwards.
Yes, please.
We'll come back.
Okay.
Really
all right.
bad.
So then I've got worst script and I'm done. I've got a few good options here.
Just so many good ones.
There's so many good options.
There are so many good options here. I'm going to go with the one that kind of hurt me in terms of like taking liberties with an artist that I really appreciate. And that is going to be Bob Marley, One Love. Which, number one, that trailer played incessantly for months.
If we were having a draft for most trailers,
yes.
And Michael,
the winner.
Yeah.
That was that was another one of those movies where you could tell there was like some family involvement in wanting to, almost like make this person like a Christ-like figure, which I feel like is always what these biopics that have families and estates involved do, is they try to like Bob Marley was a lot of things. And I feel like this movie didn't really explore it. And there's a lot of really good documentaries out there about the life and times of Bob Marley as an artist and a human. And so if you want to like watch something really great about Bob Marley, check out all these wonderful documentaries that exist out there. The movie is just it's not good. It's not bad, just not good. And it really doesn't do any justice to who this person was and like all the nuance of this character who had like lots of children with multiple women. And like there was a lot of stuff with Bob Marley that just kind of gets glossed over. So that's going to be my worst script there. All right, Heather, most overrated, and you're all done.
Yeah. So they've all kind of gone, you've taken Bohemian Rhapsody, you've taken The Doors, in various categories. And then I just need to quickly check something here, just so I can get annoyed about it. Particularly.
The box office. How many?
No, it's not the box office. I'm actually no. I am just blanking on the other nominees in a particular category that I want to take because I know I'm annoyed about this person winning, and that's why I'm taking it. Not necessarily the film, but I mean, the film's what it is. What it is.
This last one that I have.
What's your last category?
Script, but I have one.
No, I
really
don't think it's going
to. Okay.
Okay. In the meantime, wait a minute. Who did she beat? Okay, we'll figure this out afterwards. I'm taking Judy.
Oh, okay. Great one.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't like anything I saw of this performance. I didn't like it. It's so freaking Oscar baity. And okay, I know people hate the term Oscar baity because they're kind of like, well, everybody wants to win an Oscar, so everything's Oscar bait. But I'm not buying it. It's just so over the top. And again, this is so shortly after, isn't it? It's 1 year later. Yep. It's 1 year after the whole Bohemian Rhapsody thing. But the better biopic this year, Rocketman, gets ignored. So some people were saying, well, why did Rocketman not hit and anything? I'm saying, I think it's because people just get fed up of, oh God, we've just done this all again with Bohemian. We did it with Bohemian Rhapsody and we're doing it all again. And it's like, no. But Judy is there, very Oscar baity. Yes, okay, slightly different because it's not like the whole, Wembley success and everything of it all. But, at the end of the day, Rocketman is also talking about like a very difficult time in Elton's life and his addictions and everything. And this is just, did she need this? I think it was the whole comeback, Renée Zellweger had been away, she hadn't really been acting. And then she comes back with this, and the way she swept as well. This is another thing. This is also like, yeah, sure, like maybe give her something, maybe give her the Globe, give her, I don't know, whatever. But she swept, and there was never any question that she was winning. Now I need to find out who she beat. So if anybody wants to look this up.
I wish
I just have that up.
I wish I
talked for as long as possible so somebody could look it up for me.
I can't tell you the way this movie makes me feel, because in about a week, the 2019 almanac will be dropping.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
And no, that's okay. You'll get more Judy discussion for sure on that one.
Heather, you've got Cynthia Erivo for Harriet, Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story, Saoirse Ronan, and Charlize Theron.
Oh, well, goodbye. Yeah, so there we go.
Yeah.
Amongst countless others who weren't even nominated.
I was going to say, that's not an amazing lineup, but I'm still annoyed about it because I'm sure on default, Saoirse Ronan is better. So
yes.
Or ScarJo in Marriage Story.
A film I've not seen.
Okay.
Can't watch that. No.
Yeah. Okay, good pick. Definitely deserving of an overrated.
As I say, an overrated, I can justify everything. I could have taken a complete unknown if I wanted to, because I didn't like it very much. But I didn't.
Yeah, that was on my that was my third, in case I didn't get to there fast enough. Was that one? Because I was like, I hated that movie.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. It was fine. It was definitely overrated, like from where it got in everywhere. But it doesn't annoy me. And first of all, it didn't win anything, and secondly, it doesn't piss me off as much as this actual win does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess I didn't hate it. It just bored me to tears.
All right.
Not good.
Yeah. Amanda, you get to close out the draft with worst script. Hopefully you got what you want here.
I don't think I really want to do anything in this category. I just needed to pick something. And I'm also thinking strategically of what people might vote for. And this probably isn't it, but because all my other ones are now gone. My like big highlighted ones. And so I'm going to go, Heather, you scared me for a second. I realized the woman I was talking about lost, but it was one of those, like, this was a good performance for her, surrounded by a movie that I struggled to finish. And if I hadn't gotten Tom Hanks, I would have thrown the performance of every single other person in this movie as my worst performance. And so for script, I'm going to take The United States versus Billie Holiday.
Yeah.
Because... that just looking back at performances, we'll get to the script, but performance wise, Andre is doing just fine. It's a great performance of a terrible movie. Every other person in that movie, you have exceptional actors that are also in this movie, and they are doing the weirdest amount of nothing the whole time. I don't understand this movie at all. And it was so long, and I feel like nothing got accomplished, but at the same time you were blowing through like decades of history, and I still don't think I really it landed nowhere. No point was made. It was just, I don't know, it was weird.
So not a great movie.
Again, on my list as well. I had it as well for, I think, Hair and Makeup somewhere as well. It was
like I got done with it and I thought, well, what are we trying to tell here? Because we didn't do it.
Okay, before we recap all of our draft picks, are there any movies or any things that you didn't draft that are still kind of lingering out there? Amanda, you had touched upon something maybe?
Yeah, so the one that if all else had failed in Hair and Makeup, I really wanted to talk about Rocket Man and why they were so set on giving him that gap in his teeth. That was very obviously just like a Sharpied line. It was bothering me the whole time. I actually didn't finish this movie either, because I started watching it and I said, oh, this is actually a really good movie. So I'll come back to it. Not really good, but This is a fine movie. I'll come back to it later.
Will not qualify. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was weird. I think I had some other that was just like a one-off for hair and makeup.
I
And
considered Beyond the Candelabra just because they just all look ridiculous. I mean, but then and I was saying, really, well, that's kind of the point, and that's actually kind of what they look like, and it's ridiculous, but it's not like bad work necessarily. They just all look completely crazy. Like, but yeah, that was the time. That was this fashion.
I debated, even though I have not seen either of these films yet. One of them doesn't even exist yet. But Michael, the Miles Teller wig that I've seen in pictures,
oh yes,
insane.
That looks fabulous.
And then I know the internet is divided on this. Paul Mescal as Paul McCartney. I question the wig in that movie, or the hair in that movie. I don't think, I'm nervous. I'm very scared of that movie. So that was in my contention.
Of the stills that they released, those first 4 images that they kind of, I think, hid and then people had to find, and then I think the Harris Dickinson one looked the worst. But since I think they were even kind of half had him in shadow because they were like obviously so embarrassed by how bad a resemblance he is. I think the problem with these things are, and it's generally my issue with biopics, is you're never going to get a full resemblance really necessarily. I think Jamie Foxx did a pretty damn good job. Like, that's pretty good, like, in terms of what he looks like. So people are always going to nitpick, and you could just say, well, we're going to do something completely different. But then if you have people that are so famous, and this is the thing, it's like, on the one hand, we say, well, why do we need a biopic about this person? Because nobody knows who this person is, or it's so niche. But then you're touching something like the Beatles, and literally everybody knows what they look like. And everybody's going to sit there going, oh, they don't look like them. They don't look like them. Well, of course they don't, because, nobody's like doppelganger for them. So it's tough. It's just,
And I know Joaquin and Walk the Line sometimes gets some flack, but I feel like that movie does a nice job of, Joaquin's not trying to look exactly like Johnny Cash. He's still, you see him, you're like, oh, that's still Joaquin Phoenix. But I feel like he's capturing sort of an essence of the person, and that sort of carries through. And I think he does a really, really good job in the musical performances as well. That helps.
I considered that for overrated, just simply because it won an Oscar, which I don't necessarily think it should have done, but that's just personal preference. Like, at the end of the day, same with the Judy thing. It's like, well, because I think the default correct pick for overrated is Bohemian Rhapsody. Frankly, like, I mean, everything else was. But then, yeah, and at the end of the day, I went with my first pick as well. I just went with something where I was having trouble with that category, so I had to get, for me, the obvious number one pick. So. But
the only other one I thought about was more of as a joke in Worst Script, because it's intentionally the Weird Al story, Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
If you have not seen it, I would highly recommend it, because it's Weird Al like making a mockery of the biopic genre and making his life far more outlandish than it obviously was. It's just like a really fun play on the genre, but it's so ludicrous what happens to him in that film that obviously doesn't happen to him in real life. So yeah, Weird Al's a great biopic.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I considered a couple of also like really bad TV movies. Elia, how do you know how you pronounce it? Elia, Princess of R&B, just because it's so tasteless. Like, why are they? I just, yeah, I don't know. Just like how she died, of course, and her whole. Before that, like the whole, who was it? Was it? No, it wasn't Bobby Brown. Who I'm going to get? Who was it? The one who, a man, obviously much older than her, kind of like married her or something when she was like 14. Who was it? I'm blanking. It wasn't Bobby Brown. I know he was bad for other things, but anyway, was really famous. I can't remember. Anyway, and yeah, and then apparently there's also a really like dodgy Britney Spears TV movie.
I saw that.
As well.
Searching. Yeah.
Again, also not authorized in any way. And there is, I think, one being made about her, or they're considering it. as well, like a real one. So that'll be fun. But what is the Britney Spears one called? Wait, hang on. Britney Spears, Britney Ever After. Doesn't that sound delightful?
Wow, Britney
yeah.
Ever After. She's
So
like a
I
fairy
thought,
princess.
just draft that. I have no idea. It's probably absolutely terrible. So I was thinking of putting that one into performance just because I'm sure everybody is appalling. But yeah, no, can't go wrong with Kevin Spacey. And there's so many I found as well, like just terrible things. Apparently, there's a Def Leppard one called Hysteria.
I feel like I've seen it. Maybe, yeah.
It's like, okay, what else? Just added to my watch list immensely. This research, not really. One called La Bamba, which I considered because just I don't know where I would have put it, but this guy was not hot and is being portrayed by Lou Diamond Phillips, who is incredibly hot. So
yeah, there are some good ones out there that
there are good ones.
Had to, maybe. They're few and far between, but like Straight Outta Compton's pretty great. Sid and Nancy from Once Upon a Time with Gary Oldman was really, really good in the 80s. But let me recap really quickly our draft picks. Amanda has Elvis as worst performance, Bohemian Rhapsody, most overrated, United States vs. Billie Holiday, worst script, The Doors, worst hair and makeup, and CBGB as worst singing performance. You were going to get carried really well with Elvis and Bohemian Rhapsody. Those are some phenomenal picks.
We have to state it's not Austin Butler, because otherwise she'll get the Austin Butler people coming for her, specifically Tom Hanks.
For the Tom Hanks.
That's only fair. Only fair.
I'll make sure I have a picture of Tom Hanks on the slide.
Yes.
Yeah. As far as my 5, I've got Stardust, worst performance, Bound for Glory, most overrated, Bob Marley, One Love, worst script, Phil Spector, worst hair and makeup, and Back to Black, worst singing performance. And then Heather has Beyond the Sea, Kevin Spacey, worst performance, Judy, most overrated, Man in the Mirror, worst script, Nina, worst hair and makeup, and Great Balls of Fire, worst singing performance. So do us a favor. This episode goes up Wednesday, April 29th. I'll leave it up for a few days, maybe a week, and then I will throw up an online poll for everyone to participate. Vote on it. This is for bragging rights until we do another draft, which... Are we drafting for Spielberg? Yeah. Okay. So we got another draft a couple months away. So somebody will be able to claim the crown for a couple of months until we get to that next one.
Just got to decide in the categories for Spielberg. I threw some out there.
That's right. We will dissect that. I think between then and now, I've got something like 25 different recordings already scheduled. So I'm living day to day right now in this world.
Okay. Oh dear. Yeah, and everybody go and see Better Man. By the way, can we just plug Better Man, please? Because not everybody's seen it, and just it's really talking about not looking like the person you're performing. That's the way to do it. Make them a chimpanzee. So
even for uneducated Robbie Williams, people
Americans,
like me,
yes,
I became a Robbie Williams fan from that movie. Just a really cool, clever concept. The whole idea, the gimmick of the chimpanzee is actually really smart. So.
Yep. And yes, I mean, the whole why they did it as well behind it. And also, you're avoiding the lookalike and incredible songs. Robbie Williams, great songs, absolute bangers, really good. And he's a great entertainer. And what I also really love about this is the fact that it shows it all, warts and all. And he was so involved. He is so open about his problems and his addictions and everything he's been through, and I think that shows how you can do it if you have that buy-in and you're willing to do, as I said, warts and all, show everything. You have a bit of creativity in there and some good music. That's how it can work.
I don't know why this just popped in my head, but I don't even know if there's enough in her life story to make it. But I just recently saw a clip of somebody was interviewing Margot Robbie. And they said, hey, would you ever consider playing Kylie Minogue in a biopic? And she was like, well, I would love it, but, I don't know if that's... And then the interviewer was like, well, Kylie said you'd be her first choice to play me or whatever. I don't know enough about Kylie Minogue's backstory to know if there's a movie in there. There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah. Well, the only vaguely interesting thing is maybe she had like a fling with like Michael Hutchins from
Yeah, we talked about that
NXS
before.
and stuff like that. But like, I
Now,
mean,
now there's an artist worth exploring the dark side
yes,
of if they wanted to go that route. Michael Hutchins. That's a
that's very
fascinating.
interesting.
Yes. There
Yeah,
are definitely
that's a
areas
good
to
one.
explore. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we don't ultimately, do we need all of this? I don't think we need it. I mean,
We
even
don't.
my queen, Zendaya, is doing one, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll watch that one because, you know, we want to support Zendaya. But yeah, it's not even started yet. So we'll see. And to be fair, this one, she was chosen by Ronnie Spector to play her before Ronnie Spector died. So, you know, which means it's authorized at least on that side. Now, what part of the story they're going to show, I guess it's going to be sympathetic because that's the whole point. I mean, she it is quite a, you know, horrific story, but also, you know, her getting away and yeah. Oh, the Tina Turner one as well. That was decent. There you go. See, there are decent ones out there. You know, we've just been slagging it off for an hour, but you know.
Well, now it's time for the audience also to participate. Leave us a comment on social media or YouTube or wherever you want. Let us know what we've rated too highly, too low. Take us to task for any of our picks. Go for it. We love a good comment in the YouTube channel for sure. All right, that's going to do it for Amanda, Heather, myself. We appreciate you being here. We will be back very, very soon for much more goofy stuff like this. We'll see you next time.